when we get put into a relationship, it's not like you can just rewire that thinking. You want to fix the problem. Your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, your husband comes to the table with a problem, your default setting is, no, let me just sit back and listen, be emotionally supportive. Your default system is, let me help you fix that right now. They just want their partner to be like, I'm with you, baby. How can I show up for you right now? What can I do to show up for you in the best way possible right now? Do you want me to be just a listening version of me, which I'm very happy to do? Or would you like me to work with you on a way to fix this problem or solve this problem? I'm down for both. How do you want me to show up? That's like the best thing a man can say to his woman when she's going through it. Wow, baby, that must not feel good. Like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Just know I'm here for you. And I want to ask you, like, how would you like me to show up?
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Journey to Solutions podcast, where we interview people from all walks of life who've overcome the impossible. We shine light on one simple truth: no matter your past, no matter your pain, with the power of God, anything is possible. Today we have a very special guest. He flew all the way from New York out here to California, which is, across the country. He is the CEO and founder of Kreatures of Habit. He had a TV show called Food Porn that was running. So he's a chef. He's also has 21 years of sobriety. He's been on Rich Roll's podcast. He's been on Soft White Underbelly. He's just a person that's, he's an entrepreneur. He made his first million at 31 years old, and he's just a good person with a good heart. And the most important thing, he has big family values, which I think is very important, because a lot of people get successful and then push the family aside. And that's where you see a lot of people's issues come with their kids or with their loved ones. And so, guys, you're in for a special treat. I want to introduce Michael Chernow.
Thank you so much for having me, dude.
Yeah. So for you, and I love that how I remember seeing a post where you're talking about like your wife and your kids, and like, this is what matters to me most. Like where did that develop? Because I see a lot of people in the entrepreneurial world or even ministry where family comes second, this comes first, and they have all these reasons or beliefs to justify why it's to be true.
I think I struggled for years with love. I wasn't shown how to love as a kid. I didn't have a loving home. My mother loved me, but she was also abused by my father. So I think human beings are genuinely, our underlying, underpinning, foundational purpose is love, loving and receiving love, loving others and receiving love. And when you're born into a situation where that is not clear, where that is murky, where the waters are muddy, self-love is like really, really difficult to harness. And without self-love, meaning you can look in the mirror and be proud of the person that you see looking back at you, it's very, very difficult to not only love others, but receive love from others, because you have this belief system that you're not lovable. And I was born into a rough situation. My father was very abusive. He was sick both mentally and physically. He was on permanent disability for the majority of my childhood, so he was home all the time. He was angry and mentally ill. So he was one of those humans that just did not have much self-love, if any at all. So was incapable of loving my mother in a way that we understand. I mean, I'm sure that there was love there, but I don't think that he was able to actually express love the way human beings are supposed to express love, which is like through kind words, encouragement, safety, protection from a man to a woman. So there was a lot of pain in the household, and that is ultimately what I was exposed to from day one. It was chaotic, it was dysfunctional, and it was challenging for a little kid to grow up in that environment. So I spent years of my life trying to understand what this love thing was, and I didn't have much for myself until I got sober. And
so yeah, what did for people that want to understand, like, so before you got sober, what was like, how did love look like for you in relationships? Like, what did those dynamics look like in the relationships before you got sober?
I mean, I was a terrible boyfriend. I never had a problem finding women to fall in love with me, or for me to like think I was, in love with them. But because I lacked self-love, I would cheat on every single girlfriend I had.
And why is that? Yeah, break that down like that, because I think sometimes there's more to it when it comes to cheating. I think that people don't realize.
When you don't love yourself, you don't believe you're lovable. And the only way to experience true love, in my opinion, is to first and foremost have love for yourself, respect for yourself, feel confident in your own skin, and then ultimately be able to receive love from someone so you feel safe, and then love them back. Without the self-love piece, you don't believe that anybody around you, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, is going to be able to love you. So if you're in a relationship, you don't love yourself, you don't really love the person that you're with, there's a fear of losing that person because you don't believe they love you. So you just cheat.
Right.
Looking for that love. It's a subconscious thing. It's an underlying deeper thing, right? So like I think if you ask a lot of people that have cheated on their partners, it's not because they didn't love their partner. It's because subconsciously they didn't believe that their partner loved them. And it's not something that their partner did.
Right.
It's something internal.
Right. And I love that because I think it's so true, right? It's like the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being good enough. And when you exist in that belief and you don't know how to vocalize it, maybe you had an argument with your partner, maybe they didn't want to sleep with you that day because they're tired, whatever it is. In your mind, you think, oh, I know what's happening. And so we want to escape that.
Totally.
Right? With a sense of that desire of someone wanting you. And sometimes, depending on any type of abuse that we have as a child, sometimes physical, intimacy can be, to us, that's what love is. Okay, cool, I'm good. Just to reset that fear and stuff like that.
100%. It's a flywheel of chasing this love thing that is really, really difficult for someone who battles with loving themselves. And it's a belief system, And honestly, I could say, I mean, this isn't for everybody, but this is certainly for me. I didn't know how to love myself, and I don't think I was capable of loving myself until I found God. And that might sound like something I'm supposed to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean, yeah.
But the fact is it's a fact. It's truth, right? Like I got sober. I was told to get on my knees every single morning and pray.
Mm-hmm.
The person who told me to do that said, I don't care if you believe or not, but I want you to start the practice of getting into a humble position and asking for help from a power greater than yourself that you may or may not be able to explain. And I was so desperate at the time. I'd flatlined 2 weeks before, and I wanted to die so bad that I was like, this guy's giving me an opportunity to potentially understand a better way of living. And he's telling me that I got to find God. And I did. And God has been an evolution for me, still is. But ultimately, I mean, if you just look at it like someone, like a functional, in a practical way, or like a logistical way, or an operational way, if it was a business, you'd see my life prior to August 2nd, 2004, and you'd be like, that dude is deep in the red. You see my life post August 2nd, 2004, and you'd be like, dude, that guy is profitable. And that's the difference. And the first thing that happened, the first change, was obviously I stopped using drugs and alcohol, but ultimately I was on my knees praying every single morning, just like I did this morning.
Yeah, and explain that to me for somebody that's maybe like, okay, so he finds God or God finds him, and that's when he started to love himself. Like, if someone's like, okay, but break that down to be practical. What do you mean? Like, how does finding God make you love yourself? Like, did you feel something? Did like if someone wanted to understand, like, what happened, if you can explain it?
I think it is when you begin a prayer practice, and for me, that's where the relationship began. You begin a prayer practice. What that really means is you're taking time out of your day to sit quietly and reflect on asking for help. And what that means for me is, I can honestly say that prior to that first time praying, I'd never sat in silence by myself on the floor on my knees, literally pleading for help. And that is ultimately you doing something for yourself in a self-care, self-love format. That is the beginning, right? And for years and years prior to that, the only thing that I did for myself was look for ways to escape the things that happened in between my own two ears. So I was trying to get away from myself. With prayer and God and that journey, you're actually learning to be present within yourself. And that is only, for me, I mean, I can only speak from my experience, that is when love becomes an option. When you're with it. When you're with the things that go on in between your own two ears. And so if you can think about it, you know, practically, it's like addiction is running from God, and recovery is living with God, if God is a part of that journey for you. So I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know, I think we spend a lot of time as active addiction, as selfish as any human can ever be, because you don't care about anybody else. It's not that you love yourself, but you don't care about anybody else, meaning I'm married with kids right now. I know at my core, unfortunately, I have addiction, meaning if I pick up a drink or I use a drug, the chances of me being able to control that, the next action or thought, is zero. I know that to be true because of how I am with other things in my life now, channeled in a positive way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I hadn't started that practice, I don't know that I'd have the ability to be able to withstand the things that life throws at me without taking the reflection, the time to reflect and be like, oh, this is just life.
You're talking about your journey, right? In your recovery, right?
In my
Like the ups and downs
recovery,
of life. Yeah.
right? And you know, they say life is lifing,
Yeah.
right? Like that's just a fact. It happens to everyone. You're
Yeah.
not a snowflake.
I always tell people it's not that life's unfair. That's just life. Things happen.
It's life.
I always say you can be the best person in the world, and you can still get cancer and die. That's life. Yeah.
You know, there's another thing that has recently, in the last few years, has kind of like come to surface for me as my relationship to God has evolved. You know, a lot of us that don't believe in God or have a bad experience, you know, with potentially God, whether that's Jesus or Allah or the Buddha or whatever it is for you, right? Bad things will happen, and you'll look up and be like, God, how could you let this happen? Right? Even people that don't believe in God at all, that will walk around and protest something really bad happens, they'll be like, God, how can you let this happen? All of a sudden, it's God's fault, right? Well, everything good in life has an opposite, right? There's always going to be a dark side to the moon. You know, you look up at the sky, it's a full moon, that moon is bright, but on the other side of the moon is dark. And when bad things happen, if you have a relationship with God, I don't look at God and say, God, how could you have let this happen? Because I know that there's an enemy, and I know that I got a fucking target on my back, because I live my life in a productive, responsible, positive, and optimistic way. People that live their life that way, that put numbers up on the board, have a target on their back for the enemy. The enemy is like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I'm watching you.
I'm watching you, I'm coming for you. And so instead of saying, God, how can you let this happen? That's when I lean in and say, God, help me get through this. Not how can you let this happen? What give me the strength to be able to get through this. I know that you are the Almighty. give me power, give me strength to get through this. And that is the beauty of a relationship to God. Because life is going to fucking life, dude. Curveballs are going to get thrown. Fastballs are going to get thrown faster than you can swing the bat. It's just part of it. And every single time we dip, there's going to be an opportunity to learn. It's just a fact. I mean, that's the way I've lived my life for the last 21 years. You know, I have a really strong belief. And because of the day after day after day after day, committing to the practice of giving myself to God in the morning specifically, and then, you know, driving my car and like looking up at the sky and like just having that random feeling of greatness, I smile and I say thank you, you know, and like, you know, that might not be for everyone. It is for me. And that's what gave me that began paving my path for self-love. And now I can honestly say, sitting across from you, I fucking love myself, dude. I love myself. I genuinely do. And it's not in a cocky, egotistical, prideful way. It's in an honest way. Because I know that without that, I'm pretty much useless to the people around me.
And explain that now that you, obviously in your journey, you begin to love yourself, you know, little by little, more and more as time goes on, right? It's a never-ending journey. How does loving yourself allow you to show up for those that love you the most? How does it allow you to show up for yourself in ways with boundaries and self-respect? Like explain that to me, like loving yourself, how that allows you to truly live your life for you.
When you really peel back the onion and try to distill what gives people, like for instance entrepreneurs, the strength to go out there and have the audacity to think that an idea that they have could attract millions of people to want to participate. That's audacious, man. Right? Like that's like you know, to come up with an idea walking down the street and be like, you know what, I think this idea is good enough to be worth millions and millions of dollars. And in order for an idea to be worth millions and millions of dollars, you need to be able to get millions of people to want to participate in it, meaning spend their money to participate and be a part of it, right? That's kind of crazy. One person, one idea equates to millions of dollars. What that requires is confidence. It requires confidence to get there, right? People walk around with ideas all day long. It's not unique to be a person that has an idea that thinks it could be great. The confidence piece is the distinguishing element between someone that is a talker and someone that is a walker.
Walker, I like that.
Right? And the only way to get there is to commit, because commitment breeds confidence. If you can't commit to a little thing like getting on your knees in the morning and asking God for help, to drinking, you know, a gallon of water a day, to sticking to a workout regimen, to eating a green salad with chicken or a burger and fries every day, to saying no to the dessert most of the time and having it when you feel like you deserve it. These are the commitment piece of life is the glue and the key to building the confidence. And once there's enough confidence, which means you've committed for a long enough period of time, either to your life in walking towards walking on a better path, or just to one specific thing like getting in shape, understanding that you have the ability to commit, you build the confidence, and then it's inevitable with enough confidence, courage is the byproduct, right? So like you have an idea, a committed person, someone who does what they say they're going to do, walking down the street, has an idea, thinks it's really good enough to potentially attract millions of people or thousands of people or whatever it is to want to participate. You've committed enough, you've got enough courage, that's when you're able to take the leap and say, I'm going to do this. And you just do it. And you can apply that to anything in your life. And I can tell you right now, it started for me with being able to commit to stop drinking alcohol and using drugs. asking God for help, and sticking to that plan. You know, I mean, that has been my story. That is my story. So it's a fact. It's not a wonder if that could be for me. You know, is this guy, just sounding good on a podcast? That is my journey to a T. I was a drug addict. I overdosed on heroin in July of 2004. I flatlined. I came back to life. I spent 2 weeks trying to kill myself with drugs and alcohol. There was one morning I woke up after blacking out, very close to a suicide attempt. The sun came through my windows. God was in that. I felt the courage somehow, some way to ask for help. And it was because I was committed long enough to the drugs and the alcohol that it nearly killed me. And there was just this quick moment of grace. And my life has never been the same since,
Yeah, I always say if you can commit the same way to getting high to your recovery and to anything in life, it's like, you're going to get it.
Well, this is the beauty of, and anybody who's struggling with addiction or, any sort of life thing that they just can't get out of the cycle. Like, you might not think you're capable of committing to the solution. For us was, brass tacks, stop drinking and using and start facing life on life's terms. But it could be a lot of different things, right? You're caught in a cycle. You're caught in a bad relationship. You might not think that you're capable of committing because that's what it's going to take to get there. But if you really reflect, you've actually been committing for years just to the wrong thing. For years, you're very capable of committing. You're very capable of loyalty. You're very capable of, like, I'll do whatever, anything to get what I want in this way. Drugs and alcohol, for instance. You're very capable of commitment. You're like a militant, disciplined human being. It's just to the wrong thing. It's just to the wrong thing. Once you get rid of the wrong thing, it's not like your ability to commit disappears. That shit is alive and well. You just have to be self-aware enough to know that, oh, wait a second, I am totally capable of commitment. I am totally capable of discipline. I've just got to rechannel where I put that. Boom. Now you're a savage because you're living life without drugs and alcohol. You're living life outside of an abusive relationship. Now I can really set my wings out and fly,
No, I love that. Yeah, it's so true, though. It's there's a TED Talk about it where this guy talks about, like, the secret to my success was he's a 12-stepper, and he's like, I just apply the principles of that into all my areas of life. And for whatever reason, it's because I show up and I'm honest and I'm open-minded and I'm willing, things just start to work out. So let me ask you this. When did you meet your wife?
In 9 months after I got sober.
So 9 months into sobriety. So 9 months into sobriety, you have God in your life now. Now you're not drinking and using, but again, it's still early on in your recovery. Run me through that because, I always tell people when I work with them is like, yes, once you realize that, you need to break the toxic cycle of relationships, you need to love yourself, awesome. Stay single for a while. Some people do work on them. But then the next test is now when you jump into a relationship, there's going to be more work to be done. Because there's only so much work you can do when you're alone. And now when you're with somebody who's going to show up for you and love you and, the things that you always want, but you don't know how to recognize, now here comes the real work. What did that look like for you? So now you get into your relationship, you meet your wife. How did you learn to navigate now being in this relationship to make sure you don't show up like you did for the past ones?
So one thing that I want to mention that I think is really important, and again, right, like I could really only talk from my experience. Yeah. I can't really tell anybody else's story, but because my experience is something that I was a witness to, I feel pretty confident saying that it works because I'm sitting here with you 21 and a half years later sober. Working. So when I decided to make the decision to stop using drugs and alcohol, start getting on my knees in the morning and praying, I also committed to fitness and nutrition.
See, at that point, you were never really into it until then.
Ever. Never. Yeah. But I got saved by an angel, this guy who showed up in my life, who was he was sober probably 12, 15 years maybe at the time. And he showed up the day I asked for help. He was sent by God, in my opinion. And this guy said, hey, man, you're young. I was 23. You got so much life ahead of you. Here are the things that I'm going to ask you to do. And it started with prayer. And I mean, he wrote out a list for me hour by hour. So my day was very structured, giving me very, very little time to be left to my own devices. And he said, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to wake up as early as you can. And, you know, whether that's because he knew I worked at night, whether that is 5 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, but I'm going to ask you to attempt to wake up as early as you can. And as soon as you get up, you open your eyes and you get out of bed. You don't roll around. You don't hit the snooze. You literally turn around, put your feet on the floor, and stand up. You turn around and you make your bed immediately. You make your bed. Boom. First win. Right? As soon as you make your bed, you make your way into the bathroom. You brush your teeth. You wash your face. You put on your contact lenses. You take a piss. And right when you're done pissing, you get right on your knees and you say, help. And I'm asking you to talk to God. I don't care what you say. All you have to say is, please help me. If that's all you can muster, perfect. Then I'm going to ask you to do as many push-ups as you can. And as soon as you're done with your push-ups, you're going to walk back into your bedroom. You're going to get dressed. You're going to put on a pair of sneakers, and you're going to get out the door immediately. It's like a flow. And I'm going to ask you to take a walk, whether that walk is a block, 2 blocks, 5 blocks, a mile. I want you to move your body in the morning. That walk will eventually turn into a run, but I want you to start with a walk. When you're done with that walk, I want you to come back to your apartment. I want you to make a big bowl of oatmeal so you're filling your body with healthy nutrition that's satiating, that's going to fill you up. The cool thing about oatmeal is that you can make it taste any way you want. You can add maple syrup to it. You could add honey to it. You could add nuts and seeds and fruit. Whatever you want to make it taste like, make it taste like. But I want you to eat a big bowl of oatmeal. And then when you're done with that bowl of oatmeal, I want you to go to this meeting. It was an AA meeting on 12th Street between 1st and A in New York City. And he says, I want you to sit as close to the front as you're comfortable with. I want you to raise your hand when they say, who's here to count days? Get your hand up, say who you are and why you're there. You're Michael Chernow. You are an alcoholic and a drug addict. And then I want you to put your hand down and shut the fuck up and listen to what everybody else has to say. And when you're done with that meeting, try to shake hands with a couple of people, get a phone number every day, give a phone number every day. And then when you're done with that, I want you to come down to this gym in Chinatown. It's called 5 Points Academy. And I'm going to train you. And I'm going to teach you how to be a man. And it's going to hurt, but we're going to do it. And we train Muay Thai for 2 hours. And then when we're done with that, you're going to have a salad with chicken and broccoli. And you're going to go home. You're going to take a nap. You're going to get up before work. You're going to go down to work. You're going to work, and you're going to do your best. And then I want you to eat dinner if you can before 9 o'clock at night. And then I want you to go upstairs when you're done with work, because I lived upstairs in the restaurant. And I want you to get on your knees right before you get into bed and say thank you. And then I want you to get into your bed, put your head on the pillow, and close your eyes until you fall asleep. And that's it. Rinse and repeat. And he's like, if you could do that, you will live a life beyond your wildest dreams. It's just going to take time. And you got a lot of time, dude. You're 23, you know? And that's what I did, and that's what I do. That was the plan, and I stuck to it. And I still follow that plan. My life has grown enormously. You know, I met the woman of my dreams. I married her. I am in love with her. I've made children with her. I've run multiple marathons. I competed in Muay Thai kickboxing rings. I became a pro bodybuilder. I've opened up 3 businesses. I've exited 2 of them successfully. I'm currently running this company, Kreatures of Habit. I love myself. I love my wife. I love my kids. They all love me back. I've got great friends, and I don't drink and use drugs. And, you know, I could do anything I want to do today, anything outside of using and drinking. Everything else is on the table. I try to stay away from gambling and, you know, sex addiction. But, you know, like I'm a blessed, lucky man, dude. you know, and I owe it to one person, God. That's a fact. And, you know, I don't run around preaching and telling everybody, you know, they've got to believe in God. But it's my, you know, for years and years, God was the universe for me. I didn't, you know, in the 12 steps, they make it very easy.
Right, God as you understand.
God as you understand. Doesn't have to be anything. Doesn't have, just as long as it's not you or another human being. It could be anything. You know, for years it was water for me. I was like, okay, I'm told I got to drink a lot of water. I'm told my body's made up by, you know, whatever, 80% water. Without water, I'm dead. Water keeps me alive. I'm going to make it water. Universal, you know, and it's evolved, you know. Now I'm like exploring Jesus and getting to learn about Jesus and interested in Jesus and building a relationship with him. Now I have someone to talk to, whereas I was just kind of for years, I was just like kind of like putting it out. Now there's like a
face to it.
That
place to go to.
Feels like, you know, I'm not, it's a two-way street. It's not just me speaking, it's me speaking less and listening more. You know, and who knows if it stays that way for me? I don't know. I'm not a, you know, I haven't fully committed myself to Jesus Christ yet. I'm still in that place. I'm like trying to figure out if this is the right thing for me.
Right.
I'm not over intellectualizing it. I'm not like, you know, I don't like rack my brain on it. I'm just like at a place in my life where I'm a curious dude, and 2.5 billion people on the planet 100% believe in this guy. And I'm like, well, if 2.5 billion people on the planet, you know, whatever, 35% of the people walking this earth truly believe in this man as the Messiah that saves them and protects them and is with them, hears them, listens to them, holds their hand, like, that's not like a weird coincidence. So let me look into that. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. Have you seen the show The Chosen?
I haven't. It's definitely a show that I got to watch. A lot of people have asked me that.
So like from my experience, it's a good show to watch to kind of, again, when you have a bad relationship with your father growing up, the idea of a father, again, there's a weird disconnect, right? It can happen. There's even books on it for like men that like, yeah, father, I get it. Your real dad. A lot of times we put our real dad's characteristics subconsciously on God. It just happens. So when I watched that show, it kind of gave me a visual. I need visual. I'm like that, right? Like a visual idea of like his personality of Jesus. And I'm like, damn, that guy's so cool. If he's like that, then like that's okay. So that's how you see me too. Like, you know, the disciples are messing up. It's like, oh, Jesus, my bad, I messed up. He goes, bro, that's all good. You're here. And he hugs him. I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. So when I make a mistake, you just like hug me. Like little things like that are very like emotional for me to see. And I'm like, cool. So now as I read the Bible, I kind of have that personality connected to Jesus when I'm reading, and I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, Jesus wouldn't be like that. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. He's not like that. He's loving. He's caring. He's forgiving. He doesn't care what you believe in. He's just like, glad you're here. So that show is really cool to like have a visual of like that love, you know, radical love. And I love that. For you, like, and with your wife now, how long you guys been together for then? 20 years, right?
20 years in April.
How many kids do you have?
2.
So 2 kids. How old are your kids?
Finn will be 11 on Saturday, on March 7th, and Dakota's 8. Yeah.
How was that for you? How was that journey for you when you started like, you know, having kids? Did you find it easy? Like kind of being like, I know what I don't want to do because how I was raised, or was there some challenges of?
You know, I didn't know what to experience, you know, what the experience was going to be like prior to it. If I'm being fully transparent, you know, I was molested as a young kid, and there was a fear of mine. I mean, straight up, like, am I going to do that? Like that was like, I was scared, you know, like, I never had feelings like that, but you know, you hear like it's a chain, right?
Yeah,
and it was
people
like,
hurt people type of thing.
And it was really like for a minute there, I was like, oh my God, like is that even possible for me to like do? Thank God, of course, it's not nowhere near that. I mean,
and were you able to communicate that when you found out your wife was pregnant, or did those thoughts start coming in? You're like, oh no, like just gonna ignore this thought. Like I don't want to tell nobody that.
I ran for that. I ran from that. You know, I really did. I mean, I didn't want to think about that. Obviously, it was a really dark thought. You know. Yeah. So I, you know, it's a good question. I really hadn't. I don't think I've ever even said that out loud. But yeah, you know, as soon as those kids came into my life, you know, it's so cliche to say, like, you don't know what love is until you have your own kids. It's true, man. You know what I mean? Like I love those boys. Like, you know, I love those boys more than anything on the planet. And my wife is the best mother I've ever seen in action. Legit. She is a very, very, very good mother. Like, inherently, she just took to this mother thing and just knew what to do out the gate. And so what I'd like to say about my wife is that my wife taught me how to love. She taught me how to love myself. She taught me how to love another person. She certainly taught me how to love children. And I watched her and took her lead when it came to the love game for years. I mean, she taught me how to love, you know. She taught me what it meant to love myself, because she was so unconditional with her love. And I think every time that I kind of fell into this, like, lack of self-love, she could somehow identify it, and she just would fight through my pain, that and she was aware of the pain that I was experiencing, and she was just unwavering with the amount of love she and how she supported me. And so my wife has been a real teacher for me, you know, like a real teacher. And now I really understand this love thing, you know, and I feel like of course, you know, there's times where we have to check ourselves and say, hey, are we being selfish here? Like, am I putting enough energy? Am I giving the attention? Am I putting my attention in the right place? But
you guys kind of have like a weekly thing, or like some type of check-in, or like things that you do, just the two of you, to kind of see where you guys are at, what you need to work on?
About 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, we like, I'm a fast-paced dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a fast-paced dude.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't even realize it. But we have dinner at the dinner table every night at 6 o'clock, my wife, my kids, and I. Every night at 6 o'clock, we are all together having dinner, and we have a great, you know, we go around the table. We say rosebud, thorn, and seed, which is like, say one thing that was awesome today, one thing that sucked today, one way you were of service today, and one thing you're looking forward to.
That's cool.
And you know, as my kids are getting a little bit older, they're like, come on, do we have to do rosebud, thorn, and seed? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it, man. You know, it's a good way to look back at the day. You know, a lot of us live our lives and just don't even think about what happened that day. You know, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it's nice to be able to say, you know, let me give myself a second to, like, really think about some shit that happened today. And then for years, like, we would be done with dinner, and, you know, I'd be like, all right, on to the next thing. And my wife used to say, how come we can't just sit at the dinner table, just you and I? Like, well, the kids will excuse themselves, they'll put their dishes away, and then you and I will just sit and talk. And, like, I was, like, not, like, resistant to it, but because of the way my brain works, I'm like, oh, we're going to put the kids down at 7:30. It's 6:45. Like, it doesn't give us a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want to be able to spend some time with them, too. Like, let's move on to the next. And it was like, no. She was like, let's sit at the table, you and I, and connect for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just let the kids do what they want to do. Like, let's be husband and wife for a little bit, you know? And so for the last like 2 years, we sit at the dinner table every night for about 20, 30 minutes, and we just talk, check in. How was your day? How's my day? If there's any beef, we like talk about the beef, you know, which is pretty rare, honestly, because the two of us have committed to, I call it, upfront, in-your-face communication, meaning you communicate when it hurts. You communicate when it's awesome. You just communicate, because I think the hatchet for many marriages is just sheer lack of communication, consistent communication. And most men, when they're uncomfortable or they feel threatened or they feel like there's a chance of rejection, most men, instead of facing it, will either shut down and disassociate or get angry.
Yeah, I know, like, a natural thing that I had to work on with my love life, again, from being molested, there's so many things that, you know, made it difficult, was like, wow, I notice that if I think you're going to leave me, right? So, you know, it's all delusional. If I think you're going to leave me, I find myself looking for an escape. whatever it is, whether maybe I talked to this girl a little too long at the restaurant or a friend, something like, or calling someone in recovery that's a woman, like something I would know, like, why am I doing that? Because my sponsor's like, do you ever call a girl right after you get in a fight with your girl? What do you mean? Yeah, or do you call one of your guy friends to process it? Oh shit. He goes, yeah. He goes, see, he's like, be aware of that. And I noticed that because again, it's the fear. So I try to find something to protect myself. So if this doesn't work, I have this. Or if it was good, the relationship, I didn't know how to handle it. So I would find something to argue about and create this thing where I feel a sense of superiority. Like I'm, because I don't know that I have value unless I can help you do something. But that's not a relationship. It's like, I don't want you to help me do things all the time. I want to just hang out. The idea of hanging out was like, what do you mean? And so I realized another thing too was it was easier for me to be closer to women and not men, because women, in a sense subconsciously, well, if they think I'm cute, there's a sense of desire. But with men, it's like, well, unless you're cool or something, right? And to me, I didn't understand that concept. So yeah, there was a lot of things I had to work on. So that's why I love when you said like your wife showed you how to love yourself.
Well, another thing for guys like you and I who have been, sort of dragged through the mud a bit in our lives, we spent our lives, for the most part, trying to fix the problems. We chose for years the wrong solution, which was, escapism. But like you and I are sitting here alive and well. We got through every single hard day in our life to date. There's not a single day that's gone by that we didn't get through. There's not a single hard situation in our lives that we did not get through. We're here. We're alive, right? Sometimes we probably made the wrong decisions, but we got through it.
Yeah.
We tried to fix it. We didn't know what the right solution was for a chunk of our lives, but at the end of the day, we did get through it. And the bad decisions that we made us stronger, giving us an opportunity to now share with other people, hey, I made these bad decisions. It was the wrong decision. Let me help you try to navigate so that you don't make the same decision I made at that time. Regardless, you made it through every single fucking bad moment of your life. And when we get put into a relationship, it's not like you can just rewire that thinking, right? You want to fix the problem. Your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, your husband, comes to the table with a problem. Your default setting is, no, let me just sit back and listen. Be emotionally supportive. Your default system is, let me help you fix that right now.
Yeah, tomorrow, what are you doing? We're going to go do this and do that. How about this? And it's like, I just want you to listen.
Yeah. And specifically women, they don't think that way. Healthy women don't think that way. You know what I mean? Yeah. They just want their partner to be like, I'm with you, baby.
Yeah.
How can I show up for you right now?
Simple as that. Just ask them how you can show up.
What can I do to show up for you in the best way possible right now? Do you want me to be just the listening version of me, which I'm very happy to do, or would you like me to work with you in like on a way to fix this problem or solve this problem? I'm down for both. How do you want me to show up? That's like the best thing a man can say to his woman when she's going through it. Wow, baby, that must not feel good. Like, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Just know I'm here for you. And I want to ask you, like, how would you like me to show up right now? Because I could just listen for sure.
What helped you to be able to humble yourself enough to be able to play that role? Because sometimes I think a lot of pride can get in the way of men, or whether it's the religious toxic view, women submits, follows man. That's it. I'm the leader. This is what you do. Or whether it's sometimes men just don't have I don't know if they don't have the awareness. I've seen something. I don't know if they're not aware or what, but they don't have the ability to humble themselves enough to I need to show up for my wife.
Yo, that's a man.
Yeah.
That's a man. A man is able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? Like, we think being a man is, at the core, what's it mean to be a man? Protect and provide. I believe that. I do. But it's not just protect physically and provide financially. It's protect emotionally, provide spiritually. That's a man. Being able to just understand, be self-aware enough to be like, okay, where do I need to be a man right now? Where does my strength need to show up right now?
And did somebody show you that? Or did you learn that from your wife? Or like, was there a man that kind of taught you like that version of this is what a man is?
I think as I've evolved in my sobriety, I have listened way more outside of when I'm on a podcast. I fucking talk my ass off, right? But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like outside of these environments,
Yeah.
I've learned to be a listener way more than a talker, right? Because like you're not going to learn much from listening to your own voice.
Right. You already know that stuff.
You know, so I've listened to men, and over the last 5 years, this topic of masculinity has been like a real thing, right?
Yeah,
like 15 years ago, masculinity was not a bad word. Today, toxic word,
yeah.
right? 15 years ago, you think about masculinity, you think of a strapping, strong man that's just there to protect, provide. That was like what it was. Now there is a different. It can mean a bunch of different things, and I think I obviously had to learn through trial and error with my wife. I wanted to fix shit for years, and she'd be like, "Stop. Like, I don't like that. I don't feel good when you just want to come in and fix my life. I don't need you to fix my life. I need you to walk with me. Let me figure it the fuck out. Who are you? You're not God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not the smartest guy in the room all the time, and I needed to be checked there. You know what I mean? Because like my default setting as a kid was like, oh shit, this is bad news. This is getting hairy. I either got to put my hands up and fight or run.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
fight or flight.
I'm getting
or
the
fix.
fuck out.
Fight, flight, fix.
Yeah, I'm figuring this out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna die today.
Yeah.
You know? And like that was default setting.
Yeah.
So like I had to rewire that, and it came from a lot of help from my wife, a lot of help from mentors that I've had along the way. But ultimately, I've come to this place where it's like, yes, I am a man. I'm a masculine man. I am strong. I am confident. I am responsible. I do what I say I'm gonna do. But I am also capable of being emotionally supportive and spiritually, like being able to provide spiritually, and that starts with me, and then ultimately exudes to others around me. And like, so I think that was the missing part, right? Masculinity, strength, protection, finance, now you just got to add emotional, spiritual, adaptable.
No, I love that. I remember my sponsor was one of my sponsor, my pastor, two people that taught me. My pastor said, remember, Fausto, date night mandatory at least once a week. Remember that. Don't think your wife's going to be waiting for you as you're chasing your purpose. Remember that. Two, my sponsor, super simple. I didn't know how to exist in places where I'm not the center of attention, right? Like I don't know my role. Going to the grocery store, I didn't know my role. So I remember I would find myself avoiding going to the grocery store with my ex-partner. And because I thought I had to okay, I got to figure out what to grab here. I got to know what everything is in here, right? Like I got to talk to you, probably have a conversation about something. And my sponsor's like, dude, what's wrong with you? I go, well, he goes, just push the goddamn cart. Well, what do you mean? He's like, dude, ask her what she wants at the grocery store. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to just push the cart? She goes, yeah, I just want you to be there. I'm like, I don't got to say anything? I don't got to figure something out? She goes, no, I just like your presence. Small little things like that. But yeah, these men are teaching these amazing things and having good men to look up to, not the wrong men. Because I see a lot of guys who are, quote unquote, they think they're rock stars or these people. And it's like, dude, you treat your wife so wrong. And then you preach that you're this good person. To me, that's not right. So yeah, being aware. So I love that. Now I have this is like a vulnerable question. Maybe you've answered it before, maybe you haven't. Because I know you said the one thing with your kids and afraid you're going to be like that. I had that same fear as one. I had a client I remember cried to me when I shared that to him. I was like, hey, I'm scared to have kids, I think, because of this. And he cried. He goes, I've never told my wife this, but when we had our first kid, I have avoided changing my kid's diaper. And my wife used to say, you lazy piece of shit, you bad dad. But because he had those same things of like, I can't look at my daughter. Like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I doing? This doesn't feel right because his mind. And so me being able to share that with him was very healing for him. So, I can relate to that. So my question is this. What was it like being able to sit sober-minded with your wife when it came to intimacy? I know, like, for me, I learned when I got sober, I did not know how to have sexual intimacy sober. I was afraid. I learned in therapy, it's like, yeah, you dissociate, Fausto. Think about it. He's like, that's why you would drink or get high before. Or even now, you don't know that you're supposed to actually feel safe first. You don't know that. That's why when you jump into these things, you start to dissociate, you get anxiety. And so I had to learn, for me with my wife now, was like, hey, these are my boundaries. 1, I need to get to know you. 2, I need an emotional connection. And then I need a spiritual connection. And then, do you mind if we take it slow? Like, just please, I want to feel safe, because I get triggered if I ever feel like you're trying to take control. And anyway, even if it's just joking around, like, I notice, like, my body just, like, I don't like that. Because I remember when I was a kid and that man would put his knee on my knee to force it down, right? So I couldn't move, and this sense of control, right? And so I had to learn to communicate that and have strong boundaries of, like, I'm just not cool with that. And because of that, I've been able now to feel safe and in my body again. So for like you, how was that journey for you, since you were molested as a kid, when it came to sexual intimacy with your wife and working through that?
So I think one of the main reasons why Donna and I are where we are today is because when we first met, first of all, she's way beyond my pay grade. Just like,
shout out,
yeah, like way beyond my pay
Yeah.
grade. You know, like legitimately my wife now, but for sure then.
Is she a normie?
She's a normie.
Okay.
Total
Yeah.
normie. She could have any man in the world. Any man would be beyond stoked to spend a night with my wife when she was 22 years old. and now too.
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman. But at 22 years old, she was like ridiculous. I never thought that was something that I'd be able to hold the hand of, in like, you know, where she was interested in holding my hand as well. So already she was way beyond my pay grade, which was kind of, you know, nerve-wracking because she was so beautiful. Like supermodel flying all over the world, beautiful, right? Legit. And I was scared, man. I was so, you know, like when you're out there, like you're not scared of anything because it's all a lie. It's all fake noise. It's all fake confidence, you know. And you know. So I said to Donna, you know, in the beginning, like, hey, very similar to you, you know. I was like, I just want to be real with you. When I started to feel like there was something, I was like, look, you know, I'm newly sober. I'm, you know, 8.5 months, 9 months sober. She would have never known that I was a fucking heroin addict because in 9 months of sobriety, I was jacked, in the best shape of my life. Well, I'm in the best shape of my life now, but I was in great shape, like shredded, super disciplined, up every morning, running, like, you know, very meticulous about what I ate. She noticed this because we were dating a little, you know, we had just started dating. And so I was like, look, you know, I'm newly sober, I'm raw, this is new. I am afraid to have sex with you. I'm telling you that. It's scary for me. It's because I'm sober and I don't have a lot of experience with sober sex. So I'm asking you to just be patient. And she was like, and I was like, that's just like where I'm at. So if you can just be patient with me and be with me in this journey, like, that would mean the world. Are you cool? And she was like, I am cool. She's never had a man say that to her before, right? Like,
Yeah,
most men are
like,
just
yeah.
like,
yeah.
you know? And so we didn't have sex for a month, you know? And we did other things, but she helped me get comfortable. And, you know, I could say, you know, 21 years into a relationship, right? Close to 21 years. My wife and I have sex every week. And this might be too much information, but I'm just here to say it. There's not been one time in my relationship with my wife that I was not able to get aroused and stay aroused. And I know that that's not true for a lot of men, right? But I could say that, you know, she made me so comfortable in our relationship with intimacy that, like, sober sex is, like, awesome and very, very good. And prior to Donna, getting aroused for me was a fucking mission. Like, and it was embarrassing, right? Because I'd be, like, drunk and coked up and shit just wasn't working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd be like, how is this not working right now?
Yeah.
And the girl that I was with, would be like, what's wrong with you, bro? You know? And I just never deal with that ever. And I don't, you know, use medication to help me there. Like, I'm just, you know, I feel like I'm lucky, but, you know, so the intimacy with my wife, you know, my wife is, I don't know what any other way to put it, but, like, she is my soulmate. She is my person. We are committed to loving each other no matter what. And I honestly believe that, you know, if you're in a relationship and you feel the urge to, like, want to be with somebody else and you can't control that urge, you can't control it, the best thing to do is to tell your partner. Because if you're going to go out and cheat on your partner, not only are you going to hurt her or him, but ultimately you're going to the pain that you're going to experience and the secret that you're going to have to hold, especially for someone in sobriety, will very easily take you out of sobriety, but opens up the door to darkness, you know? And so I honestly believe if you genuinely love your partner and you have a relationship and you have this urge that you cannot control, for me, I know if I ever get there, pray to God I won't, and I haven't had to deal with this, but, like, my commitment to myself is like, hey, dude, if you ever get to a place where, like, you feel like this is going to happen, you must tell your partner and deal with the fucking shit that's going to come after it.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, yeah, like, because I heard Tom Bilyeu say that in an interview a long time ago. That's what he does with his wife. And I used to be in the polyamorous world, so I understand, like, the radical honesty, right, that most people can't handle. So I was going to ask you that, like, yeah, like, what does the person have to be ready for? If you're going to tell, like, what does the partner have to be ready for? Like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you because I don't want to do this. I'm thinking about somebody else. What should that partner probably have to do to not, I mean, it's going to be a hard conversation. And then, like you said, the person that's telling on themselves, what do you think that person's going to have to do to walk through that? Because that could be a hard conversation.
I mean, I haven't had to experience it, right? So it would be inauthentic for me to try to give real advice on that. What I can tell you is that I've made a commitment to myself to be that honest in the event that should ever happen before it happens, right? Because I would way rather tell my wife that there's something going on. And honestly, there was a moment where I thought my wife was attracted to another guy. And I was straight up. After a little while, I was like, hey, I just want to be real. And I want you to be honest with me. I believe in my head that you are attracted to this person that you've been hanging out with, that I introduced you to, and it makes me really uncomfortable. I need you to just tell me. It's okay. We'll figure out a way to work through, but I need you to be real with and honest with me. I'm not going to tiptoe around this shit. And she was like, you're fucking crazy. And I believed her, right? And I confronted that dude too. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even though I like that guy and I believe he's a good person, to this day I'm still almost confident that had Donna said, let's do this, he would have done it.
Yeah.
You know? Yo, man, we're all human too, right? My wife and I are very also comfortable saying, hey, like, of course, you find other men attractive, I find other women attractive. We're fucking human. That's okay.
Yeah, attraction's a human thing.
Yo, man.
Yeah.
You could look at the menu as long as you want. I get it. You know, like, I know that you would love to spend a night with Brad Pitt in Fight Club. You know what I'm saying? Like if you told me nah, I'd be like, okay, now you're lying. Yes, for sure. You know, so like it's a human thing, right? Just because you're married doesn't mean that you're blind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the action that you take.
Yeah.
Right. One thing that I've always said that I believe to be as true as ever: sober, like best human on the planet. Most of us cannot control our first thought. Shit kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Somebody walks in the room, you don't like the way they look, you're like, that. I don't like that person.
Yeah, judgment. You're like, oh, sorry.
Boom. You know what I mean? Like, someone's doing something stupid at the gym. You're like, they like some like using the machine the wrong way. You're like, what the fuck is that guy doing?
Yeah.
First thought, can't control most of the time.
Yeah.
However, the longer we're sober, and I'm speaking, I mean, this doesn't only apply to sober people, but because I'm sober some time now, like the longer I'm sober, the more time I'm able to give myself between that first thought and either the second thought or the action that I take.
Yeah.
The response react time, right? How much am I reacting to life? How much am I responding to life? That is my barometer of my mental health and sort of like the commitment that I have to this like nonstop evolution. It's the amount of pause I give myself in life. I believe that the power of everything is in the pause. When we're running, you're not going to see that fucking crack in the ground. Boom, you trip.
Yep.
Run everywhere. Boom. You don't see that person standing on the corner with a gun, like you're going to walk right into his hands. Pause, like sit back, like chill, like look around. Okay, what's going on here? I'm anxious. I'm anxious. I'm future tripping. Let me just like boom, sit back for a minute. Take 5 minutes because that's nothing. 5 minutes? 5 minutes of your life to reset? The fuck is 5 minutes, dude? It's not even a blip. It's not even a speck of dust. 5 minutes of your life to sit back when you're anxious and the world, that this room is spinning, to just breathe for 5 minutes because it works. It'll reset the tone. It'll give you an opportunity to recalibrate. 5 minutes less. You do box breathing. 4 breaths, 4 second breath in, 4 second hold at the top, 4 second breath out, 4 second hold at the bottom. Do that 5 times. I don't know. What is that? 4 times 4, 16 seconds times 5 is like a minute and a half. Give yourself that grace. Like that time, that power is in the pause is like sometimes the difference between like catastrophic outcome or like all good. You're in an argument. You're talking with your wife. Sometimes, you know, she throws something on the table, a little bait. She's in a feisty mood. You can be like, fuck it, I'm picking that shit up. We're going for it.
Yeah.
Or you can be like, I'm not going to take the bait today. Let's talk about something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it on the chin. It's all good.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where I know. That's how I see growth in my life. That's how, you know what I mean?
Being more responsive than reactive. And it's so true, right? Whether it talks about it for people like us, pause when agitated. But yeah, it's like I always tell people, hey, your thoughts aren't who you are. You're going to have some crazy thoughts. Everybody does. Look at history of humankind. We're going to have some crazy thoughts. Doesn't mean you're going to do it. Like you said, it's
doesn't
just about.
Mean you have to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to do it. It's just a thought. It's just you see it, okay, examine it, you know, and then it goes away. Everybody has those thoughts. It's, are you acting on that thought? I know, like, for me, I'll have some crazy thoughts, whether it's getting high, whether it's whatever, right? And I'll be like, that sounds good. What the hell? It does not sound good. That's funny. I still think that. All right, whatever. And then it goes away.
Well, that's the beauty. And this is like advanced stuff, but like for most people anyway, you know, like in the circle that we're in the circles that we're in, meditation is like a common topic.
Yeah.
But in most Joe Smith that lives in Michigan, meditation is not something that is typically talked about on a regular basis, right? The beauty of meditation is not like, for me, it's not about becoming a monk. It's being able to practice my ability to have a thought and let it go. That's what meditation is for me. It's like, oh, dude, like, okay, let's go to work. Let's like sit quietly, be present, Just count your breaths. And then when that thought comes, because it's going to come, but acknowledge it, boom, right back to the breath. Let's practice. It's a game. I think about it as a game. I'm like, okay, thoughts here. You're lost in it for a minute. Oh, shit, wait a second. I actually just like honed in on that thing. Wait, I'm not supposed to do that right now. I'm playing a game. I'm trying to practice letting go of these things. Boom, right back to center. And I kind of think about it like I like a line. Like the line, it's like a pencil drawn in the center of a piece of paper. I'm the line. I'm the line drawn in the center of the piece of paper, and I'm just trying to stay on that line. The thoughts are little offshoots from that line. I think about it like a thought coming out to the right. Boom, I catch it, I acknowledge it, I bring it right back to my breath. Thought come out to the left. Oh, I envision it. I see the thought. It's like a cloud in the sky. I could fucking stay there and like harp on it. I'm going to let that one go. And it's a game. I don't think about it as like being the Zen Buddhist. Like, oh, I'm going to sit and
have no thoughts and 19 hours of meditation.
For me, it's like I gamify it, and I get better and better at it. And the truth is that if you can do that, when the thoughts come up in real life, when you're walking through your day, like it's a lot easier to play basketball when you practice. You know, like my son he's like, Dad, I want to be really good at basketball. I'm like, okay, how much are you practicing? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, buddy, you can't get really good at basketball if you don't practice, dude. Like, you got to practice, bro.
Yeah, you don't just wake up like I'm good.
Yeah, you got to dribble that ball. Yeah. You got to dribble the ball. I bought him a ball that he can dribble inside the house. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't care. The noise doesn't bother me. Yeah. My wife, you know, your mom doesn't really care. Like, we want you to like live out this awesome dream that you have of like being the guy on the point guard. Dribble the ball at least 20 minutes every single day in the wintertime inside. Out in the spring, summer, fall, take that shit outside. Wintertime, I want you to dribble the ball. Meditation, prayer, dribbling the ball. I want to be great at life so that I can be a great father, husband, business owner, son, brother, uncle. I got to practice, you know.
That's what it is, right? It's just like the 10,000 hour rule, right? I love that book. Malcolm Gladwell talks about just practicing it for 10,000 hours, you'll be an expert at it. That's simple. Just practice. Just keep on doing it over and over. So there's no secret formula. It's just do it more than the person next to you. Keep on doing it, and you'll get better and better at it. That's how I got really good at jumping rope. So that's why out of like 8 billion people, only 2 people can do what I can do in the world with a jump rope. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother story. Yeah, they done stories on me.
Wow.
But the same thing, right? Like the dribbling. It's this form of meditation for me. Because when I jump rope, I'm thinking of nothing. You know, and I could do about 5 jumps a second. And so it's a form of me being able to just disconnect. I can't think of nothing. Because my rope is this short over my head. That's how I do my rope. So one simple movement, I'll whack myself. Right? And so it's just about being zen and present and just here. And nothing matters but this moment right now. And if I run into an issue, if I just keep on trying, I figure it out. Oh, that's just like life. Life's like jumping rope. Yeah, there's going to be some days where you feel like you're not getting better, but just keep on going. Tweak something. Tweak a little wrist. Tweak maybe the length of the string. Tweak the way you move your head. Tweak the way you move your shoulder. And boom, you figured it out. And that's life. So I love that. So as we come towards the end, I want to ask you another question too. I think is important because you are successful as an entrepreneur, and whatever that means to people. Let's just say people want to be a millionaire. Let's say that's what we're talking about. I always feel like there's different things, right? There's how do I get there? Okay. And then the next part's gonna be how do you maintain that? I've seen a lot of people who grow fast, get rich, whatever it is, and then they blow it all up. From your experience, to share with somebody that's, let's say somebody's on their journey to become a millionaire or they just did, what is like some wisdom you would share with people how to not blow it up and maintain it and even grow from there?
So I don't think that, and again, I mean, I've come back to this a number of times just because I think it's good to say this. Like, this is my experience with it, right? External wins don't have to change the internal experience. And They very easily can,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have to. The only thing that I feel like has changed who I am internally is my attention to the experiences I've had in life. It's not money. It's not a car. It's not, it's nothing like monetarily achieved. And so I have like learned, and I don't know if it's, I really, again, like I don't know anybody else's story. I don't know if it's a personality thing, but like you watch what happens when people get successful and they start having money. And you can, and you know, like it's not uncommon to be like, oh yeah, that guy got successful and then just like totally changed who he was or who she was. That is not my story. I'm still the same dude rocking the same sneakers, wearing the same T-shirt, talking the same stories.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. I don't give advice on things that I haven't experienced at like in an extensive way. So the only things that have changed who I am as a human being are the experiences that I've had, not a material thing. And I think money could change people.
Do you think money just magnifies who they already are, or can money change a good person into not being a good person in a sense, or you know, like what do you think?
I think if you're not self-aware when money comes into your life, it could totally change who you are. You know? And don't get me wrong, I love money. We all do, right? It gives us it's a tool. It gives us a level of comfort. Like, you know, the majority of the people that are like living in a low income environment, their number one problem in life, for the most part, in their head, is money. Right? All the trauma, a lot of humans have trauma. But like if you're living in an environment where it's just hard to get by financially, typically a big chunk of your thoughts and anxiety-provoking thoughts revolve around, I don't have enough.
Right. How am I going to pay this, pay that? Or when something happens, like a normal thing, a car breaks down, you need to fix something, it's like a panic.
Yep.
We don't have that. I need to borrow money. And then that starts.
Yeah, like one thing goes, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, one thing goes wrong.
And it will.
The world is over.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think for someone that is like, that has that experience and then all of a sudden, you know, does something amazing or, you know, whatever, like ends up with a lot of money, it can very easily influence them in a bad way. So I would like to say money just magnifies who you are, but I don't necessarily believe that to be true because I have seen money take people that, achieve a financial outcome that was great, that were like good people, like my homie, friends, down to just sit, chill out, to like, I'm now better than you. I'm going to start hanging out with people that are better than you.
Right.
And like, you owe me something now. Like, now I'm in this different class, and if you want to hang out with me, like, it's going to be uncomfortable. I can't stand that. But that shit happens, And so I don't have that. I'm grateful for that. I don't know where that came from, probably because I didn't grow up with money, and I don't, I have, like, I connect, honestly, I connect more with people that have my life experience prior to me making money than I connect with people that
grew up with it.
Well, not only people that grew up with it, but people who have it in the circles that I'm with right now. You know what I mean? Like the people that, I'm way better chilling out with like normal, like human beings than a bunch of like super rich people,
Yeah.
Like, but I'm good in both environments, but like I'm just more comfortable and more at home with like, people that are not like sitting on millions and millions of dollars, because I do think it does impact how you judge others, You know, the people with lots of money, you know. And you know what's crazy? Like, anybody can get money.
I've learned that. I tell people, I go, you could be the biggest dick, asshole, mean, shitty to your wife, shitty to people, and you can make a lot of money still. So just know that. You know?
No, like, getting money is not like, it might seem impossible for people that don't have it, but like, really, it's not like a super duper hard thing to do. You know? You gotta have one of these, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna eat one. I'm starving. But no, I get that because see, I grew up poor. My mom made $40,000 to $50,000 a year, living in Orange County, single mom with 2 kids, and I had everything I wanted in a sense as a kid. Like, you know, I want the PS2, the this, but not realizing my mom was borrowing money from payday loans, credit cards. So for me, when I got older and I realized how much money she made for the first like 6 years of my recovery, 7 years, to me making $100K a year was like impossible, you know, because it was like, well, what am I going to do? Do I got to be a lawyer? Do I got to be a doctor? Well, I have these ideas. YouTuber, well, this is not working. Well, that's not working. Okay, maybe I don't have the secret skill to be successful at it. Maybe I don't look I don't look how somebody wants me to look physically. Maybe I need a ton of money to make more money. That's the thing. Maybe I don't know the right person. And so I would try to find these ways to make it happen. If I can meet this person, if I go to their seminar and I can meet, like, dude, I went to Jay Shetty's seminar, met him. I went to Gabriella Bernstein. I got chosen to be on her podcast randomly, right? That was a crazy story. I did, who else was it? It was, who else is that circle? I think Tom Bilyeu, Lewis Howes, Rich Roll, all these people I thought, and when I was getting sober, if I meet these people, I'll be successful, right? Because I feel like, and nothing would ever pan out that way. And I was like, I'm delusional. But like you said, right, just not giving up, and then found something that just worked. Didn't know it was going to work, but who I am attracted the people to it, and then there you go. And then like you said, oh, wow, you can. Just don't give up.
Well, look, I think one of the greatest lessons I learned through my path, through my journey to finding God, was I was just told, how good is that?
That was good.
I was just told all I needed to do was ask for help. It was just like, dude, you do not know how to ask for help. You're afraid to ask for help. Not asking for help has gotten you into this position that you're in right now, which is basically knocking on death's door. All you need to do is start asking for help. And that came through getting on my knees and asking God, but ultimately ended up manifesting to asking for help. I am shameless about asking for help. I ask for, I ask for help. I call you all the time and ask for help, bro.
How do I do this? Hey, can you give me a sub with Underbelly? This and that. Yeah, but why not? People do want to help.
I ask for fucking help, man. I ask for help, dude, you know? And like, not all the time are you going to get the help you ask for, but there's no chance of getting it if you don't ask. And like, yo, nothing great happens alone most of the time.
Right.
Maybe every once in a while you're the lone survivor.
Right. But for the most part, there's always somebody or something that kind of helped, whether it's something,
or an army of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anybody who's successfully gotten sober alone by themselves.
Right. Good luck.
In a room.
I didn't need a sponsor. I didn't need no community. I was good.
I got this. Good luck, dude. You know what I mean? And so, and there's going to be moments where you're alone, but if you have a relationship with God,
you're never alone.
Never alone.
Yeah.
Never. You know, like if I'm going through something, which is a lot, you know what I'm saying? With now the life that I've built, like this big, awesome life, I go through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'll be caught walking down the street talking out loud. And people will probably be like, what the fuck is that guy talking
schizophrenic?
to? I'm talking to God, bro. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking to God.
Yeah.
And sometimes speaking out loud really is what I need to do. It helps. So like if I'm in the car driving to my office in the morning, I am having a full-fledged conversation out loud in my car with God, saying, God, look, I'm going through. I talk to God like I talk to you. I'm like, God, just give me a little guidance here. Just crack the door a little bit. Like, send a little light in here. Shower this person with a little light so that I can better receive them. Like, I'm struggling with this person. I don't know exactly how to navigate this situation. Please, just douse them with a little sunshine today so that they're in a better place, so that when I approach them, I'm able to receive them a little bit better, because it's so hard for me to deal with their aggression and their negativity. So I'm just asking for a little help here. Like, if you can find the time today, just like hit them with a little love. Like, put something in their path to like make that frown turn upside down. Like, give them something to be happy about so that when I show up,
they're in a good mood.
They're in a good mood, Like, just
Yeah,
and like,
cool.
who knows if that, like, yeah, you can't say, oh yeah, God hit him with a little love today, but like, if I don't ask, I'll never, And my grandmother my grandmother was one of the most influential people in my life. She was a super spiritual woman, little Italian, tiny woman. It's Grandma Chicky, and she's one of the best people I've ever had in my life, if not the best, because she was a practicing Buddhist and like very spiritual. She was a crystal healer. She was a clairvoyant. She was just like lived this totally spiritual, mystical life, right? And exposed me to that and my sister to that as a young kids, right? And my grandmother was my father's mother, and she was like really sad for me that my father was so difficult on me, so hard on me. But she was honest with me, and she was like, honey, like, I would call her as I got a little older, like 11, 12, 13, when it got really physical at my house with my dad. And I'd be like, Grandma, I just don't know what to do. Like, he's your son. Fix his ass, help me. And she'd be like, honey, I can't help you fix your father. She's like, you're not going to change your father, honey. She's like, I'm going to give you a mantra that you could say for the rest of your life all the time, whenever you're dealing with a situation with another human being that you feel stuck in. And she says the mantra is, bless you, change me. Bless you, change me. And let me explain it to you. She goes, you will never be able to change somebody. You are not God. But you can ask God to bless that person with all the love and all the joy and all the optimism that life has to offer. Ask God to just shower that person in love. And then it's your job to change, because you're not going to be able to change them. So how you receive them is in your control.
Right.
So ask God to bless them with everything that he's got. And then you got to change how you receive that person, and hope that, have faith in the fact that God is there to help you. And so I got that tattooed right here. Bless you, change me. It's on my arm.
Yeah.
I've had that for years and years. I've probably had that tattoo now for 20 years. And whenever I'm going through it, I really try to remember. It's not every time, but I really try to remember to be like, Mike, dude, Grandma Chick, bless you, change me. God, please shower that person with love and light. Like, just shower them. Yes, I'm struggling with that person. Yes, there's anger towards that person. But just, man, hit them with some love. And then just give me the strength to be able to receive them differently. Because I know I'm not going to be able to change that person. And unless I change, that person is going to be a thorn in my side for the rest of my life,
I love that. Reminds me of the acceptance prayer. And also when you have resentments, what you do, pray for that person for 2 weeks. Same thing. That's why I always believe all truth is God's truth, So as we come to the end of this thing, I just want to say again, thank you for being here. At this point, we ask everybody these questions, or speed questions, right? We ask everybody them. And my first question for you is, what are 3 books that you would recommend to somebody to read that could completely change their life?
Well, I'll start with one for the aspiring entrepreneur. There's a book called The E-Myth Revisited that I read before I went into my first business, and it's written by a guy named Michael Gerber, who was homeless and down and out, and totally changed his life and became this like amazing thought leader.
Wow.
So the E-Myth Revisited is an amazing book for the aspiring entrepreneur or somebody who's thinking about like wanting to get into business. And it's not like a super tactical, like a difficult business book. Like you don't need to be a business person that is exposed to like financials and
Right.
it has nothing to do with that. It's really a philosophical book for someone who's looking to start a business. And it was monumental for me before I started my first business. I think there's two books that kind of, I would say, speak to similar things, but there's a book by Michael Easter called, oh my God. Well, let me give you the first book so there's a book by Ryan Holiday called The Obstacle is the Way.
I love that one.
Unbelievable
Love that
book.
Yep.
Like it's just a great read. It's a great book, and I really do feel like a book like that is just a win for anyone. And then this Michael Easter book is Courage is Calling. Is it's just people, courage is, in my opinion, a requirement for anyone who is looking to change or looking to change, looking for a way out, or looking to like hold the title of great. Being good is awesome. Being great is a title, right? Like greatness is like a real thing, right? And so I aspire for greatness. That is like, I don't aspire to perfection. I don't really like the word excellence. Like excellence makes me feel a little funny, but greatness is something that I aspire to on a daily basis. So, and courage is a requirement for that. So I love that book, and then I think a recent book that I've listened to that was like really awesome on my journey towards like finding Christ is The Case for Christ. And it's just a book about a skeptic who, was like me, in that like, do I really believe that this guy like died and resurrected and like is now like gonna come back and save everyone? Do I really believe that this guy gave his life for all of our sins? Do I believe that? Is that true? Like scientifically, like is that real?
Right.
And this book, The Case for Christ, has really given me perspective on a lot of those questions. So I love those books. I've read a lot of books, but Courage is Calling, Case for Christ, Obstacle is the Way, and the E-Myth Revisited, I think do cover like a lot of the areas that I would consider myself very curious and interested in, and in some cases expert in. And those books have helped, sort of give me momentum.
I love that. What is one single mindset shift that completely changed your life?
Life isn't happening to me. Life is happening for me. Like, how can this happen to me? This happened for me. Give me an opportunity to see the lesson here. This obviously happened for me. I put a lot of work into it. Thank you. Or this happened for me. This hurts. Give me the grace to be able to see the lesson so that I don't make this mistake again, as opposed to blame. Why did this happen to me? Right. Why me?
That's a powerful mindset. I remember when I go, God, I need more money. He gave me more money. Small little raise at work years ago. And then I got selfish. All right, God, hold on. It's kind of expensive out here in Irvine. Can I get some more money? And he goes, all right, cool. Next day, I find out my girl cheats on me in a dream. It's true. I leave, move into a church house with people on heroin and meth. There's a church house that we house people. And it's raining, and I'm like on this cot crying. I'm like, God, I don't get it. Why would you do this to me? He goes, didn't you want to save more money? Now you don't have rent. You know what I mean? Like the funny, right? But that perspective is it's so powerful, because in that moment I was able to breathe of like, okay, you got me. And then, you work through it. What is the worst piece of advice someone's ever given you?
I mean, this probably, I can't say it was the worst piece of advice. I would have to think a little bit deeper.
But some bad advice, yeah.
When I met my wife, my now wife, but when I met her, I was 9 months sober. And I had a sponsor. And about a month in to a month and a half in, I looked at my sponsor and I was like, hey, I met the woman of my dreams. I'm deeply in love with her. Like, I just know it. You know, I just know it in my core. Like, I've never felt like this before. And he said, you don't love her. You don't know what you don't know. You're newly recovered. Your feelings are all over the place. You're emotionally fucking destroyed. And like, this is just another way for you to like escape from what's going on. Like, you don't tell her you love her. Like, and he was wrong. Had I listened to him, I wouldn't be sitting. I mean, I might be sitting here today, but I wouldn't be in an amazing relationship with a woman who is my soulmate.
Yeah, and 21 years later, not a year later, 21 years later.
So like, I understand the mechanics of what he was doing. Yeah. But the fact is that like sometimes it's just not right. It's just not true, right? Like
my buddy that you walked in, same thing. 9 months sober, met his wife, and they're together with kids. You know, they've been together like 9 years.
So like, had I listened to his advice. Yeah. You know. So I think when people say things to you, even if they're in a leadership position, even if they have a lot of experience, like it's very worth taking the time to like really think. Like, don't just be like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to, you know, especially when you're vulnerable, especially when you're, you know, now chances are there like 7 out of 10 cases with a 9 month sober person.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. Yeah.
You know, but like, you know, so I would say that was really bad advice, and I didn't listen to it.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah, that's why something I've learned as a therapist is like I go, hey, any relationship advice, I ain't giving you none because I don't want you blaming me for when something doesn't go right because you just never know. So like, there's your truth, there's her truth, and there's the truth. So let's just take it one day at a time. You just never know. And then for my last question, let's say for the person that's down and out right now, let's say a man that's down and out, broken, hopeless, abused, is just at this place of desperation. And he's like, look, Michael, I hear your story. I know you made it through, but my story is way worse than yours. Like, I'm not going to make it. I'm different. And you have 1 minute with him. What would you want to tell him?
Great, man. Okay. Believe that. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. What do you want me to do? You want me to fucking put you in my pocket and carry you around all day? It's up to you, bro. It's up to you. You can find someone like me and want to aspire to that and want to chase, because that's what I did. I found somebody who I wanted to pat me on the back. I found somebody who I thought was way beyond anything I was able to achieve, and I chased his ass because I hated living in the fucking pit that I lived in. So you could tell yourself the story all day long that it's over for you. You've got, your story is unique. No one understands. It's, you know, I'm not going to like fluff this up for you, dude. You got a choice. Life or death. Pain or fucking prosperity. Joy or misery. Your choice. I know it's not easy to stop using drugs and drinking alcohol, but I did it. We have the same equipment. Maybe different traumas, same equipment. You have everything you need to change your life. Every fucking thing you need. You are not missing anything. You have everything. Imagine that. Imagine you had everything you needed to change, and the only thing that's stopping you is the story that you've told yourself that it's impossible. Rewrite the book, bro. Up to you. I can't do anything for you. Zero. I cannot do a thing. But unfortunately, the answer is simple. Just stop. No, It's going to be fucking hard. It's going to be fucking painful. But I promise you with all of my heart and every cell of my body, the other side of those tracks, once you're there, looking back, you won't even believe the person who I'm having this conversation with right now. It's all up to you. You know, it's not a silver platter, man. No one's going to do it for you. No one's coming. No one's going to do it for you. It's not going to happen unless you rewrite the book. You've been lying to yourself for a really long time. Poor me. There's no way I can get out of this. I'm unique. No one understands. My shit is too fucked up. I don't have enough money. Nobody cares. Nobody wants me. I can't figure out the... That story is a story that you have totally written, man. You've written. And not only have you written, you believe. And so because you believe, you act on it. Can't change you. I can't change you. But you have every single thing you need to change. Everything. That's been the way I've kind of like approached those situations. Because some people, I think, feel like they have what it takes to change someone like that. I don't. I don't. But I can tell you that you've got everything that's necessary. You're breathing. You know, your ass hasn't fallen off, right? You can still take a shit. You can still take a piss. You can
see.
Yeah, like you know, maybe not, but like you certainly can like get your body can get rid of toxins. You know, like you're alive, man. Well, you're alive. You're breathing. You got everything you need. You got everything you need. All the pain and all the shit that you've been through sucks. Definitely influences the way you think about yourself and others. But I'm here to tell you that can change. Like I am living, breathing example of it. The guy that you're talking to, sitting in front of now, like I was in your shoes for sure. You might tell me that your story's way worse. Awesome, great. I mean, maybe. Doesn't mean that you have any less ability to change. Doesn't matter how far down the road you are. Doesn't matter how old you are. Day at a time, dude. You know, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. But it's possible. Not only is it possible, it's like highly like available. It's highly achievable. You know, and I think that's those stories that we tell ourselves as addicts make us believe that there's just no way. Like, you know, I cannot stop. When you say I cannot stop, you believe it. You don't stop. But if you just say, you know what, I can stop. I don't have to do this. I can make a different decision. It's going to hurt. Believe it's going to hurt. Say it's going to hurt. Because when you believe it's going to hurt, when you say it's going to hurt, you believe it's going to hurt, you become more comfortable with the hurt. When you're like, I don't want to feel pain. I don't want it to hurt. Well, then you believe that you don't want to feel pain, you don't want to feel hurt, so you run from it. Running from it for you is addiction or whatever you do. Jerking off, spending money, calling a prostitute, whatever it is. You can get through all of that shit, you know? It's the stories we tell ourselves.
Very true.
You know what I mean? That's my experience.
Right.
And I'm not speaking in a general way. I'm speaking through how I have sort of unraveled this stuff for myself. The stories I tell myself are the stories I believe. The stories, and once I believe those stories, I take action. And it works both ways. The stories that I tell myself about success are the stories that I believe. And based on those stories are the actions I take. I'm going to sell this company for $250 million. I'm going to sell this company for $250 million. I'm going to sell the company. It's not like, oh, maybe I'll do it. I think it might happen. There's a good chance. It's like, no. I'm going to sell that company for $250 million in 2029. I believe it. I'm going to do it. All I got to do is fill in the pieces, you know? It's a fact.
I love that. So true. And then where can people reach you? Where can they find your products at? All your social media at?
I'm at Michael Chernow everywhere. My company is Kreatures of Habit with a K. We sell, you know, high protein overnight oatmeal. And the reason why we sell high protein overnight oatmeal is because day one I got sober, I was told
Yeah.
that, I got to eat oatmeal in the morning. I've
Yep.
been eating oatmeal every single morning since I'm sober. And it's gotten me through everything. So I created a business around it, and I want to be able to tell my story of that, but also give people the tool that helped me win nutritionally in the morning. Sometimes it's just about a little win. So we started with high protein overnight oatmeal called Meal One. We have a really awesome melatonin free sleep support hot chocolate, which is delicious. Helps you wind down at night without an alcoholic beverage. And then we just launched these protein bars. So it's a wellness brand rooted in, wins that you can control that are good for you. And yeah, dude, thank you so much for having me, man. This was awesome. Really nice way to kick off my day.
No, I appreciate you for flying all the way out here and making the time with your busy schedule and just being able to share so much wisdom, but mainly vulnerability, right? To really bring the cookies down for us to all understand and see that, you're a human, you're just like us, and we can feel and we could think things, and it doesn't have to shame us, and we can have success in any way we want. So thank you.
Absolutely, dude.